I'm going to talk about these three clippers today. Here we have the Oster, and I also have the Babyliss and the fitted caliber around here somewhere. I'll discuss of each one. Let's get started. Discussing the Oster, what I really like about it is its power. It comes with detachable blades, as you can see. You can remove and replace them easily. These are just some of its different blade attachments. Now the difference between the Andes, the fitted caliber, and these other two clippers is that the Andes and the fitted caliber use blade fixtures that are more practical to use, easier to interchange compared to the detachable blade here. Another thing I wanted to talk about is their efficacy in cutting hair like afros or thick hair. I recommend this clipper. The Oster is a really great choice for that. And I also recommend the Babyliss. I found that the Oster has a bit more power, I've noticed. The only difference is that the Babyliss feels like it works faster, but here you have more power. You can hear it. The Babyliss is a bit quieter. The fitted caliber, when used with combs like number 2, no 3, 4, 5, it will cut the hair, but not as well as these other two clippers, the Oster and the Babyliss. I would recommend the fitted caliber more for zero fades because the Oster and fitted caliber gets closer to the skin and fades better than these two. It comes with a super thin blade. You can see it here. It's super thin. The Babyliss doesn't have a blade as thin as this one. It will give you a good fade, but not as close as the fitted caliber, which is really good for creating fades. The downside, or rather a feature that I would change in the Oster, is how you turn it on, as the switch is at the top. It would have been more practical if the switch was on the side, but, well, this one has the switch on the top, and so does this one. But out of the three, the most practical and easiest one to turn on would be the Oster, I would say. It's much easier to turn on. The switch is right there where your finger will likely be while you're using it. With this one, you have to reach at the top to turn it on, as you can see. Now, when it comes to the noise they make, check this out, guys. The Oster is a bit of a chatterbox. It's quite loud, really loud in fact. Okay, we're now going to turn on the Babyliss to see just how loud it is. As you can see, it's registering 65, 66 ofencos. Well, that's rising, but you can tell. 68, 69 is about the limit of the Babyliss. Now let's switch on the fitted caliber. It's a bit quieter at 64, 65 compared to the Babyliss. Now let's use the Oster. Check this out. It hit 65, but it never even made it to 70, let alone 80. That's the same thing with the Oster. Another thing is the size of the machine. This one looks big. Well, actually, it's the biggest out of the three. It's slightly similar to the Babyliss. It looks heavy, but the machine is not that heavy. It's kind of lightweight. The strap doesn't feel too great. It feels like it's made out of fiber carbon, which makes the machine much lighter. I bought some clipper attachment. This attachment is the 50. It's the shortest one they have. It is comparable to the trimmer that does the edging, does the skin fade. It's right down low, as you can see. Very low, super low. It goes right down to the skin. This one might get a tad shorter, but the difference is not substantial. Something I like about these three machines is the fact that they come with a stand, which saves me a lot of time. I've always said a machine with its stand saves a lot of time. For instance, I'll show you here. A machine like a Senior is a cordless machine, just like the one I just showed you. Like the 50 caliber and the others, they are cordless, meaning they don't use cords. The downside is you have to keep looking for the cord to plug it in every time. That takes up a lot of time. To shave with steel, I really prefer the 50 caliber. Then comes the Senior. I replaced the blade on the Senior. It's not the original one it comes with. I put a different one on. Regarding the Oster, the 50 caliber, and the Babyliss, about the stand that I was talking about. Okay, look at the stand of the machine. This one's from the Oster, this one's from the 50 caliber and the Babyliss. Here on the Oster, something I like about it, you can add another. The same stand gives you a space here to put an extra battery. This sells for around $80 and $85. You plug it in, and while the machine is charging, you have another one to use there, in case it runs out of charge. This machine, the Oster, sells for between $325 to $390. I've seen this machine sell for up to $390. I bought it about 2 weeks ago for around $325. They give you a 1-year warranty. It only comes with these two clippers. This is the 000, as you can see, and the number 1. Something I wanted to mention, if you're ever interested in purchasing this machine someday, if you can't afford to buy this machine, or can't right now, these two machines will more than do the job. The Babyliss and this one to start working. The Babyliss is sold for around $120 and $150. This one, the Volcano, is priced the same, around $120 and $150. These two are more than enough. I, on the other hand, have been working with the clipper for some time, for 17 years, wanted to feel more comfortable and decided to buy this machine, the Oster. One other thing, the Oster has this thing, the machine heats up quite a bit. Several friends of mine suggested that I buy a ceramic blade which supposedly won't heat up as much, but this machine still heats up quite a bit, especially the blade part. The good thing is that as soon as you're done using one blade, you have other blades that you can use that come with it, you cannot use anymore. This one is the 3/4, for example. Another detail, I don't want to miss out. This machine, for instance, this is its number 2. As you can see here, it's number 2. A plastic guard like this one, number 2, that you use on Babyliss or on the senior. These two aren't as short as these two. These two are like the... So this one is smaller, this 2 is like this. To make a 2 plastic in this machine is like a 3.5 of it. This is the one I have here. This 3.5 is like this 2. For example, here it says 9.5 millimeters. I don't know if you can see it up there. It says 9.5 millimeters. I don't know if you can see it. Well, 9.5 millimeters. The number 2 of this plastic, I don't know if you can see it well. It says it has 9.5 millimeters. 9.5 millimeters. 9.5 millimeters. 9.5 millimeters. 9.5 millimeters. It says it has 6 millimeters. But still, even though it says it has 6 millimeters, they both cut at the same level. Both could do the same job. And another thing about this machine. For example, the Babyliss give you 100 minutes, 120 minutes of work, and with an hour of charging, it's enough for it to be ready to work. This one will give you 5 hours of work. It takes about an hour and a half or an hour to fully charge. And this machine has never run out of battery for me, because since I have a few machines, I always switch and use them. These are the hooks that this machine uses, the Oster that I was talking about. These are the hooks. They are metal hooks. This is the 5.0, it's the shortest one. Then comes the 4, the 3 so far. The highest hook I've seen for the Oster has been the 3.4, the 3.4, the 3 hours. I haven't seen it, I've just seen from 2 jumping to 3.5. But the good thing about this machine is that the blades, I don't know if you can or will see, are a bit rounded. So when you're passing them to the customer, depending on your wrist movement, you can technically adjust it as if it were with the number 3 when you're using the number 2, because it's rounded. Unlike these blades which are straight, I don't know if you can or will see they're straight, but this one is more rounded and changes here in this part. It has a slight curve. These are straight. Well, my people, that's all for today. I love you all. Your barber, Carlos Cox. Bye.